What's up, everybody? This is another week of AnswerStock with Paul Scolardi, a.k.a. Mr. Muscles, Matthew Owens, a.k.a. Mr. Moneybags. How you guys doing this week?
Excellent.
Good. How you doing?
Matt, tell us about what's going on with the market and your hair today. Give us a state of the conditioner.
No, I mean, I don't obviously have internet at my house, so I've been trading on my phone. The market sold off pretty hard today based on what Draghi and Yellen was saying, but mainly also this is normally what we see before we have the non-farm payrolls coming up this Friday. So everyone is all doom and gloom again. We'll see what happens. Honestly, if the market breaks below 2032, we'll see a rotation all the way down to about 2000. If it holds, we should see some kind of rebound. And also, we're in the Santa Claus rally mode, so which should catch a lot of people off guard, in my opinion.
Cool. Superman, what are you thinking right now?
Well, I think, as far as individual stocks on the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange, we saw some pretty exciting, crazy times. We saw some monster runs on some stocks, and like KBIO, EFUT, AES. And the thing I tell people is you can only focus on, a lot of those were very unpredictable. You can only focus on what they were. They were low float stocks that you might have had a decent short interest and had some kind of news of substance of interest. And then after, what you see is everybody on Twitter calling all these sympathy stocks, but the sympathy stocks just would pop 50 cents or so and then stall out and get shorted. But that was exciting times. But for me, I still managed to find two earnings winners, which is something I specialize in, and that was NAII and EDUC. NAII went from 7 to 8. It was kind of delayed earnings reaction, and EDUC also was somewhat delayed with the market, but ended up going from 12 to 16. So what I tell people, no matter what's going on in the market, there's going to be quality opportunity. No matter what market we're in, bull or bear, there's always going to be opportunities, long or short, to make money. That's why people need to study, have a strategy, and take advantage of it.
For the market right now, we've had such a crazy few weeks. I love taking a day or two off. I don't want people to feel pressured like they have to find the next KBIO, they have to find the next EFUT. It's fine when there's not a play for a day. It's okay to take a day off. It's not like your money is doing nothing. Sometimes the best trade is no trade, and that's tough for a lot of people to understand because you have money in your accounts. Maybe you take a day off from work or school because you're like, oh, today's the day I'm going to trade. You can't necessarily force your own schedule on the market. You have to wait for the best plays to pop up. So that's my tip right now. I barely even traded today. I made a few $100. I wasn't tempted because I did not see anything truly great, and that's fine. Frankly, I needed a day off. Oh, you're gonna say something, Superman. I see your mouth moving.
Yeah, no, I was gonna. That was a good segue. And I think I've seen you tweet this stuff out, and I'm sure Matt will agree. It's important when we have a period of plays like KBIO, EFUT, and some crazy stocks, that traders don't get in a gunslinging gambling mode and lose all kinds of discipline and focus, but remain with their strategy. Those things can be anomalies, and we shouldn't. We don't want to see new traders get all into gunslinging and gambling and lose focus of the discipline that all three of us are trying to teach.
Good. Also, this is a segue into the first question. So, Matt, you take this. What do you think about shorting right now? Joe from Oregon wants to know, with KBIO, EFUT, does that mean that you shouldn't short at all, or should you just, trade more conservatively? What do you think, Matt?
No, I mean, you should definitely trade or short or go long if the opportunity presents itself. It's always a question of what kind of trade or what kind of stock is it? Is it a biotech? Is it running up? Because we had ATV, which was reverse split. That thing crashed from 20 to 7. It just depends on the opportunity, and do you really understand the opportunity and not get caught up in the hype. That's always the difference. You can short and go long in any market. I mean, my profits in the last year have been from shorting and in a crazy bull market, about 80% of them. So it's always a good time to go long and it's always a good time to go short. It just depends on the situation. It's not really hey, I'll refrain from shorting something because of, it's a crazy bull market.
Good answer. You get your own free can of hair gel shipped to you next week by wolfmillionaire.com. Paul, what do you think with regards to shorting? Because I know you go long a lot looking for those short squeezes, so you like the EFUTs, the KBIOs, because even though not every next stock might be the next one, it definitely puts short sellers, it keeps them on their toes.
Yeah, it's definitely going to keep them on their toes, and I like that. But, I do short as well, obviously not as much when we're in a bull market, but I would say no, you don't quit short selling, but you short sell with, rules and strategy. A lot of people that got burnt on those plays are shorting oversized positions, they're shorting in the beginning of the run, and it's really rookie moves. And I think a lot of these plays come crashing down, and it's still what I teach is the quality behind the story behind the stock. So if you understand the story behind the stock, you know that some of these crazy runs are eventually going to come right back down. So no, I think it's definitely a call to make sure everyone's doing a gut check and following rules and strategy.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I really like shorting a lot of plays conservatively right now. I'm not saying go out and just short anything. Obviously, never do that. And I agree with Matt that it's always a good time to go long or short or cut your hair or gel it back. But you have to do it, very meticulously. You can't just show up to a weekly online show with no hair gel, no conditioner, no stop losses, using leverage, drinking cans of, energy drink. It's very dangerous when you start mixing analogies and explanations like this. You just have to be careful in this market. Keep everything in perspective. We're in year 7 of a bull market. So, as Paul said, you really have to be careful shorting in bull markets like we've had. A lot of short sellers I know, they think they're like the wisest of the bunch, and they've had a really crappy year. Hedge funds, if you look at their performance this year, really crappy year. So don't feel bad if you don't trade. Don't feel bad if you cut losses quickly. My first Millionaire student and I, Michael Good, we're both short KBIO the day of the big spike. But we both cut losses quickly, lost a few grand. A lot of people did not necessarily follow the rules. So when we're preaching the rules, you really got to follow them. Superman does a great job with his weekly webinars and his video lessons. Now Matt does a great job with his, just crazy Klingon type language, watch list every day. Learn the rules, follow them, and stick to them. If you deviate from the rules, you're going to get hair that looks like Matt's, and it's just all over the place in your account. You don't know what happened.
We are cutting in on the hair today, aren't we?
I just want you to gel it next time. Everybody leave a comment if you want Matt to gel his hair and wear suspenders and do a Gordon Gekko impression on the next AnswerStock. I think that is the answer to a lot of the problems in the world. That one impression. It's going to bring the Muslims and the Caucasians all together, united behind this image of Matt as Gordon Gekko. Second question we have this week comes from, oh God, I just had it. 1 second. From Jerry in Florida, and he says to all the guys here, what is your most time-consuming? What's the most time-consuming part of your research daily? Superman, you want to answer first?
I think for me, it is looking into the story behind the stock. I do not subscribe to the theory is just trade the ticker. I do look at charts, but I also am very detailed about what's going on with the company and the story and the possible momentum behind it. So it's one thing to run a scan and get like 8 to 12 tickers, but it's another thing to do some little digging behind the ticker and see what's going on. But for me, it's worth it because that's a cornerstone of my strategy.
What do you think, Matt? What takes you all the time? Because you're obviously not using it for hair or clothing preparation.
Killing me on this hair thing, but no, I mean,
leave comments if you want him to gel his hair back next episode. If we get over 100 comments, it's happening.
The way I approach markets is very similar to Paul. I mean, I'm not the greatest at piecing a story together, but definitely looking at a balance sheet, definitely looking at the fundamentals, even in gold, oil, or the E-mini S&P a fundamental reason of why the stock, the commodity, or the future should move in a certain way, and kind of gives me a trading bias. And digging through all of that definitely is very time consuming. And then I use obviously a chart to time my entries of where I want to get long or short or wherever it may be. It's never, you know, it's not something I just like, oh, I look at a chart and this is what I see and then I'm done. It's like, you know, going through the process of digging through everything, making sure I don't get blindsided by some kind of weird news. I mean, you can't account for everything, but you can do a pretty damn good job of making sure you have all your facts straight. So
cool. So for me, you know, I'm a little different. I'm not as much of a fundamental trader. I'm not a purely technical trader. But for me, I'm always looking for potential catalysts. You don't necessarily want to be long, or I definitely don't want to be long a stock just before earnings or just before an analyst day or a presentation, because I don't know what they're going to say. You know, they might say something positive. You might have a company in the hottest sector in the world, but maybe they'll say something negative, or it'll be interpreted as negative. So be very careful when taking a position the day of or the day before earnings. Or something like that that could influence the stock. And, you know, you can't necessarily cut losses quickly when that happens, because the stock will just react so quickly, and your stop losses get blown out. If you have a mental stop loss, you know, or if you're away from the stock for just a little bit, it can get very scary. So third and final question on this Answer Stock comes from Eric, and Eric is in Switzerland. And he says, all of you guys have made 7 figures in the stock market. What is the best and most fun way to spend it? I like that question, Eric. Let's start with Superman. How do you spend your profits?
Well, I do like to help out family members and where I, you know, people, hardships and in needs, wherever I can, where it's, you know, what makes sense. And then also, on as far as personally, I like to travel. Now, I'm not a traveler like Tim yet, because I travel mostly in the United States, where Tim's been to amazing places around the world. But I do travel all the time in the United States to some fun, warm places. And for me, that's my favorite thing to do, is travel. I have a pretty cool car. I have a Maserati, but I'm not a huge car guy. I'm more into travel and experiences.
Matt, how about you? How's that reverse osmosis machine going?
It's going pretty slowly considering all the moving I've had to do. You know, I just like to spend my money on things that I want to do. I'm not really into cars, or, you know, I do like to travel, but only to certain places.
Like where? Like where?
I would go, you know, like I love Germany. I lived over there for a while. I speak German, and you know, and in the United States, I like to go snowboarding, skating, that kind of stuff, surfing. But in Florida, you can do that pretty much any time of the year. Don't go snowboarding in Florida. Everyone always asks me that. It's like, no, that's not what I mean. You know, I just like having the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it, without really thinking about, you know, oh my God, I have to, you know, pay for this one thing, or school, or whatever it may be. So, but you remember, you only make so much money in your life, and you should never just blow it on crazy stuff, because you never know. Tomorrow's never promised. So just remember that.
Yeah, those are great answers. You know, a lot of people ask me, you know, because obviously I flash around the cash and the cars and the trips, but I do that really to inspire you. You know, I definitely enjoy traveling. I enjoy traveling with my family and my fiance, and I do enjoy the cars that make me nauseous. And, you know, sometimes I go too fast, but it's fun. The number one thing that you can do with money is, it's up to you. You know, I just started my charity. I now have nearly 7 figures in it. I'm excited to give back more. That's something new that I've really just been trying over the past few months, and you know, really enjoying it a lot more than I thought. But it's the freedom. You know, too many people I see are just stuck in these dead-end jobs with bosses they hate. They have loans, they have debts, and they're never getting out of it. And the stock market, you know, obviously we've made millions, but it hasn't been easy. We all have our own path. You shouldn't expect to make millions. I don't want you like quitting a job that pays you consistently and be like, oh, I want to go be a trader. Most traders lose money. Most traders do not make millions. Even if you work your ass off, it's not like a 9-to-5 job. It's not a linear relationship. The harder you work, the higher percentage probability that you're going to become a millionaire. You really have to find your own path and your own strategy, and obviously we try and help with our rules and our experiences. But once you have that money, it's all about freedom. And there's different people all over the world. I mean, we have students now in nearly 100 countries. I hear amazing stories of what you guys want to do with the money. But first, you have to buckle down and take the journey before you can even think about having the money or what to spend the money on. The journey is tough, but you learn a lot about yourself. You overcome challenges. In the end, when you make $1 million, it's not even about the money. It's about what you did to get there and who you've become and how you've progressed and really become self-sufficient. All of us are self-sufficient. Matt is self-sufficient. Superman is self-sufficient. I'm self-sufficient. We don't need anyone else's alerts or research because we have worked our asses off to develop our own strategies and our own rules that complement our own personalities. So that is what I think you should be focusing on. Obviously, I'm going to try and post these pictures and videos of stuff to inspire you, to show you what you could have at the end of all that hard work. I know it's not fun to talk about hard work. It's impossible to even show hard work. Instagram has a 15-second video limit. Matt does like 8 hours of research every day. How is he going to even show that in a 15-second clip? He's just going to show off his reverse osmosis machine and all the little, animals that it helps feed this clean water with. So that's beautiful. I don't know what a reverse osmosis machine is, but seriously, guys, thank you again. And leave a comment below this video. If we get 100 comments plus talking about how you want to see Matt do a Gordon Gekko impression, I'm going to personally send him some hair gel and suspenders to wear. And I think that would be fantastic. Do you want to see that? Do you want to see that, Paul?
I think that would be great. I think that'd be a good Christmas AnswerStock special.
Have you ever slicked back your hair, Matt?
Yeah, I do that every morning actually after the
No,
shower.
I mean like really straight, like so that it can't even move. You put so much gel, like it doesn't move.
No, I don't use gel at all. That stuff has cancer in it, so it's not my thing.
Maybe you can get some organic pomade or something.
There you go. I'll use like all natural berry juice.
There
I
you go.
I will send you something that is all natural, like maybe some like honey or something, and you can put it in there. It'll be dripping off your ears or whatever, but we're going to get that Gordon Gekko look, and it is going to be memorable. 100+ comments, guys, please. We have fun doing this, but we're going to have more fun laughing at Matt if he does this, so help us out. Thank you guys again, Matt, Superman, for your time. I know you guys have busy lives, and we're just thankful after Thanksgiving that you even share all these rules in your time with so many students. So thank you again.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you at the next one.
Peace.